Okay. Okay, everyone. Good afternoon. My name's Endang Lasminawati. I'm a student from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta. I'm from Indonesia. Yes. So grateful here because I know maybe people here, lecturer or PhD student. Maybe I'm here for learning so much thing. Okay. In these occasions, I want to present presentations. I want to present our paper, within the title Complexity Analysis of Integrated Science Test Item Global Competence on Environmental Sustainability Content. So there are 3 authors of this paper, me, and the other one is my professor. His name is Professor Jumadi, and the last one is Muhammad Imam Firmanshah. Okay, here's the outline that I will present today about the introductions, method, result and discussions, and the last one is about the conclusions. Okay, maybe about the introductions. As we know, the introduction is about how this research is important, how we need to do this research. First one is about the urgency of global competence. Okay, to succeed in this new global era, students must be much more knowledgeable and curious about world, region, and global issue. So what's the global competence? Global competence is the ability to continuously communicate with others, knowledgeable, respectful, understanding ability, having a personality as an important figure, able to think diversely, have different opinions, able to work in a team, and able to solve problems and provide solutions. So global competence is a capacity that a student should have this competency. But there are problems about the global competence. So global competence is still considered as new constructions in scientific context. We can see that in PISA 2018, PISA not only measures about scientific literacy, mathematics literacy, or financial literacy, but in PISA 2018, in addition to measure science, mathematics, and financial, PISA measures student global competence. So before PISA 2018, like PISA 2015 or 12, it's not measure about global competence. So what's the problem? In Indonesia, Indonesia is among the countries with the lowest scores because the proportions of student correct answer doesn't reach 30%, along with Albania, Kazakhstan, Morocco, Panama, Philippines, and Thailand. In contrast to Singapore, which saw the largest proportions of answer. So Indonesia still in the low category based on result of PISA 2018. So maybe this research can be the small solutions for that, because in this research, we'll analyze the learning resources. Learning resources is very influential in the learning process. So therefore, in this study, try to analyze the tests contained in science textbook based on their support for the development of student global competencies. Okay, here, this is the main purpose of this research. So the data of this paper will present about these 3 things. First one is about the scenario best test in textbook. How much the how much the scenario based test in textbook, and then how the complexity of science test items in the textbook, and how the scope of global competence content in the textbook. About the method of this research, the method is a qualitative descriptive study using a document study method. And student science textbook that analyzed is released by the Ministry of Education and Culture of the Republic of Indonesia. So the textbooks is so familiar for many teacher or student in Indonesia. And the test item analyzed are taken from certain learning materials, namely material that are in accordance with the global competency content. So not all of the materials that is analyzed, but just some of materials, 1, 2, 3, 4 materials. And this study focus on scenario-based test item adapted to the type of global PISA 2018 competency test, because in PISA 2018, the form of global competency test is scenario-based test. So we choose just a scenario-based test in the textbook. The data was obtained from the analysis of science test items and strengthened by the teacher's perspective obtained through in-depth interviews with science teacher. The research procedure, maybe this can make clear of the research procedure. The first step 1 is determine the science textbook. And the step 2, select topic based on the integrations of PISA 2018 global competence, especially accordance environmental sustainability content. Step 3, selecting scenario-based science test items on the chosen topic. And step 4, analyzing science test items. And the step 5, or the last step, is conducting interviews with teachers. About the instrumentations of this research, we adapted from the complexity category indicators of the 2018 PISA Global Competency Test. So we use this as instrumentations. Based on PISA 2018, especially about the global competency domain, there are 3 categories of global competency tests: low, medium, and high. And there are 2 aspects of the complexity of global competence. There are domain-specific knowledge and general knowledge. Domain-specific knowledge is about the content, and then general knowledge is about the text and language. So we compare about this formula with the integrations of global competence in the science textbook. So, for example, in these instrumentations, low around 40%, and medium around 40%, and high around 20%. And we compare about the science item in the textbook of that usually used of teachers in Indonesia. Every category have a descriptor. So this descriptor we use to analyze the science test item in the textbook. Okay, here's the result of the study. We can see in this picture, low, medium, and high between PISA global competency PISA and science test item in the textbook. We can see there are so much different of range of the presentations. For example, in complexity of science test items on the specific knowledge, first about specific knowledge, in science textbook is dominated by medium category, but in PISA, low and medium is the same, that is around 40%. So the purpose of we compare about between PISA 2018 and the textbook is to improve the textbook, maybe to support the student to improve their global competency. There are 2 aspects: specific knowledge and general knowledge. We can see in the picture, on the picture. Okay, we can next. After we analyze the science test item in the textbook, we found that not science test item in the textbook is scenario based test. So scenario based test is test that student will work on several solved scenario and thus will be able to demonstrate their capacity to think about the various issues that have been deemed meaningful, relevant, and accessible to 15 years old around the world, as determined by experts and by PISA countries who reviewed the test material. So we can see in the textbook, not all the science test item is scenario-based test, but just 75% and 55%. In science textbook, 7th grade and 9th grade. Okay, about the last data, about the scope of global competency content, we can see in this table, this is I get from PISA Framework, there are 4 domains of global competency, but we just focus on third domain, environmental sustainability, because this domain is in accordance with science, especially in junior high school in Indonesia. So the domain environmental sustainability in accordance with material of science learning. So we try to analyze the science test item to see about the scope of this content, scope of this domain in the test item, and the results show that the science test item cover topics according to the global competency content in the subdomain of research use rate. So just cover this natural research and environmental research. But the results show that science tests didn't find any item measuring policy, task, and behavioral subdomains for ecological sustainability that focused on what policymakers and individuals can do to reduce overexploitations and deal effectively with environmental threats. Maybe from this result, one of the recommendations of the result based on the result of this research is to develop science test item that not only integrate with natural resources and environmental risk content, but about the policy tasks and behavioral subdomains for ecological sustainability that focus on what policymakers and individuals can do to reduce overexploitations and deal effectively with environmental threats. And we hope when the science test item in the textbook can integrate with this domain, we can maybe it can be support students to improve their global competency. But yes. Okay. And the last one. Okay, 1 minute. Maybe this is last slide. And the conclusion is, first one is there are science test items that are integrated with global competency, especially those related to environmental sustainability in science textbook for junior high school. But the proportions of the complexity of science tests varies, namely low, medium, and high. And when we compare, we can conclude that this proportionate between PISA 2018 and science textbook in Indonesia. Okay, maybe that's all from me. Thank you very much.